more patches throughout the weekend as they add more server.
PS ready. So he's talking about, oh, the end of discs might be here sooner than we thought. Now all of a sudden everybody cares about physical discs. So here I am once again. I told you so. This time I'm going to say it. I fucking told you so. Okay? They don't want you to have any control of anything, including a game on a disc that you can play without them. That is their goal. That is their goal, is to end your ability to use anything that has to do with gaming without their express fucking permission. When you turn on your PlayStation, your mic is on by default. Sony can hear everything you're saying. Everything that's going on in your house. Everything that's in your room, people talking. Is that necessary? Oh, it's to make the games better. Well, how are you going to fucking determine that? Some AI? Or do you got some weird fuck sitting around listening to people's conversations? That's an easy way to target gamers, isn't it? Huh? Always mute your microphone. I use a headphone usually now because I like to listen to it loud. But I found out the same problem other people are having when I put my dongle in the back of the PlayStation. That's where the hot air is exhausted. And within a very short order, my dongle started cutting out. It was changing volume by itself. And it would stop working for just like a half a second and then come back on. I checked my TV to make sure that it was in this proper setting and everything. I went through everything to make sure it wasn't my system. And right now I'm using Sony's USB cable, but I have a new higher quality one on the way. I'm about to rip everything apart again because I have shorter cables for everything. So yeah, I told you guys that this is their goal. It was their goal. Just like everything else, people have a hard time thinking 10 years ahead as if there's some fucking business that's actually thinking 10 years ahead because they can barely think of next week. And they're not thinking a decade down the road we'll have discs completely gone. And they're sitting there 10 years ago at their desk talking, okay, we need to get rid of physical discs in order to have complete control. We'll never have control until, we do three things. We remove LAN, we remove system link, and we remove physicality. As soon as we do that, they can do nothing without us. And now they'll just have to live with whatever we want to do. This is why I wanted to start a gamers union, 15 years ago on the Larry Von Buren page. And I got attacked big time because Microsoft didn't like what I was saying. I should have released those tapes of those pedophiles asking kids if they played with their peepees. You know what I mean? Fucking 11, 12-year-olds. We're like, what are you doing in the game, man? Does your mom know you're doing this? And there were some freaks on there. And that's why Microsoft started to have monitors. I had 2 hours of recordings that I was going to give to a news station. They're fucking lucky I didn't do that. The box says 17 and older, and they know the majority of their customers are kids. They attacked me big time because everything I said scared the fuck out of them. When I said, we'll rule what you do. Oh, no LAN? Oh, well, guess what? We're not buying your game. If it doesn't have LAN, we're not buying your game. We'll buy your fucking competitor who understands, I'm putting LAN in the game for you guys. Stop all this buying up all the talent everywhere and combining it into one monster that you control only. I told you all that was going to happen, and here we are. So they're talking the next PS5 Pro will have maybe even a separate drive. And everything will be digital. See, that makes them more money. They don't have to print, ship a case, a disc. They don't have to go through all that printing of the discs shit. One more step eliminated. And when they decide that they're not going to support the game anymore, you're done. And we saw it with Call of Duty 5. They made us wait. And from 5 to Prologue. And when 6 came out, it was no different than Prologue. Nobody wanted it. No one wanted to spend $60 on a game that they'd already been playing for 4 years. No one wanted it. So what did they do? Well, we're going to turn off the servers for Gran Turismo 5. And that's exactly what they did. Were you not there? Have you not been a gamer even that long? I've been gaming since they were 8 fucking cubes on a screen, okay? Trust me. I've seen it in all its ugliness from beginning to end. That it was people, I mean, in the beginning, you couldn't trust anyone. They'd go to your company, go to work for 6 weeks. Next thing you know, they're your competitor. It was so cutthroat and ugly, they almost destroyed the gaming business before it even got started. Greed, 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 greed. They want to get rid of physical discs, okay? And so now you get it's 78 megabytes on the disk as a key for you to be able to download the game. So you own nothing. You can't play without them. You have to be online. You need an internet connection. Because there's nothing on there to play. It's all blank. Just absolutely horrible. We let them put chips. That box over there on that sim, that has a security chip in it from Sony. Xbox has one in their wheels. Non-competitiveness is something that has screwed the consumer from the very first day, and that's why they bought up all these studios. That's how EA got away with what it's been getting away with. Okay? Codemasters. They made a game with Sony and it was fantastic, and I'm still playing it. And from that moment on, it was nothing but downhill until now it's a damn clown show. Not a driving sim anymore. It's about the money. Let me tell you the first instance. And I made it was one of the first videos I made. One of the first. The Day Gaming Died was the title. And I talked about Off-Road Fury. Off-Road Fury 2 was an open world, basically. You could drive anywhere you wanted, as fast as you could control it. Over hill and dale, different kinds of terrain. And it was awesome. You could set your own door, frames down for designing tracks, so that you had passageways that you had to get through as a checkpoint. And you could turn them any way you wanted. And it was open world. When you got out, when you got up that hill and you went 100 yards, boom, you and your bike were literally thrown through the air about a mile back into the game. Remember that? And so we thought, oh shit, this is going to be amazing. Off-Road Fury 3. Oh, we can't wait. We're all so excited. And what did we get? Well, not only was the game more expensive, way more expensive, but the very minute you drove your bike off the trail, it told you had 5 or 10 seconds to get back on the road. You were out of the game parameters. And then zip, you'd be put back on the road. No longer someplace to go and just enjoy ripping up. It was just a fucking, stay on the line. Do not ride outside of the lines. Zero fun. They fucked us. Why? Because the people who made 2 sold the rights to the next game. And that's what we ended up with. That company went out of business. The original people reverted, the license reverted back to them, and they made Off-Road Fury FX or whatever it was, and the game was back to its original sum of its free-formness, but still not the same game. Because it took time and effort. It took time and effort and manual hours of labor to make that giant free-riding world. And it didn't matter that the graphics weren't as good. That's what we were expecting. We thought we were going to get Off-Road Fury 2 with better graphics. And instead what we got was a game where you couldn't drive off the road. That was the day. And then the day of the first patch. Oh, people are hiding in the walls in Call of Duty. Well, we're going to patch it online. Most people didn't even know what the fuck that meant or what it was. It was just meant for the people online. They've wanted control of our content. It's why I have my own music. Look what just happened to everybody who spent 2 years with Amazon Music building all kinds of playlists and everything, and now it's fucking random. They can't do shit unless they pay them. You think that wasn't thought out? Really? I mean, I seriously, if you don't think they didn't sit down 2-3 years ago and go, okay, here's the plan, then you are what is termed naive. The real world doesn't function the way you think it does. I own my music. A full 292 gigabytes upstairs, 190 gigabytes of what I listen to. I own my music. I have a 170 gigabyte music file on my iPad. I own my music. They're on CDs upstairs in boxes. And when I think I've purchased 7 songs that I couldn't find the albums any longer for. And I don't even download them anymore. I listened to them a few times and got my nostalgia hook and okay. But for my main music, no. I own it. I'll buy the CD because I still can. Because one day, even that may go away. You won't be able to buy a CD copy. You'll be able to go nostalgia and buy fucking vinyl, but you won't be able to buy a CD. And you notice how little effort they've put into improving the quality of the sound on CDs. Because they didn't have to. Very little work done. The music industry, the movie industry, they still make less than gaming. And they do the same thing. You've got John Madden 25 and you've got John Wick 4, 5, 6, Rocky 29, whatever the fuck. No imagination, nothing for the consumers because we've allowed them to do this to us. Oh, it's just terrifying what we've let them do. You don't own your console. You own each individual part, but the very second you assemble that into a fucking PlayStation, you no longer own that equipment. It is a long-term lease. And that's why they want you to buy games that aren't on the disc. They don't tell you on the package anything other than you need an internet connection to play this game. Why? Because it's not on. What you're buying is just a license. You're not really buying a game. We didn't need Sony back then. We could plug our Xboxes and our PlayStations together and we could play any game we wanted co-op. Almost every game was co-op because that's what people wanted. And then when the massively online shit started, we lost a lot of players to that, but still, we want to be able to play with our friends without Sony and Microsoft actually listening to our conversations and giving our fucking game a number. So they can insert our data into some artificial intelligence. What the fuck? I told you. I fucking warned you that this is what was coming, and I tried to pull everyone together, and everyone went separate directions because they couldn't take the heat from Microsoft, and I only stood it for a year, and I'm finally realizing, okay, people had a chance to come to me and say, Laren, lead us, and I told people I would. I said, I'll be the guy, no problem, I'll be the face. if you can tell, I have no problem running my mouth. Also, authority doesn't like me because I have no awe of rank. Period. None. That's why me and the military didn't get along. When I saw stupidity and ignorance happening, okay? Hey, it is what it is. If fucking quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it's not a goddamn grizzly bear. I told you this was going to happen, and now it's here. And you watch. The next console generation, they're going to try to get rid of the physical disc. And they'll still charge you the same price for the game. But you'll have nothing. Nothing. You'll have an account somewhere in the fucking cloud, okay? That's it. You won't, your console will probably, there'll be so much less to a gaming console. If I want to get my PlayStation 2 out and put an HDMI splitter on it, it looks pretty good. And I can play any game that's in the case. Same thing with my PlayStation 3. All those games had System Link and LAN. You could play with your friends. You didn't have to have Sony involved. You could go to a room somewhere, plug your machines into a unit and have fun. Or plug them into one another and play. Truly, truly fucking tragic. What we allowed to happen. The adults that were in the room at the time, okay, all fucking quit. There were people like, Laren, I'll help you build a web page and there were people that volunteered their skills and talent, okay, and I wanted to set up a meeting place, okay, somewhere where we could all go that was, relatively central to everyone that wanted to be involved and have a couple of day meeting and talk over what needed to be done. That the number one thing was fucking membership. Numbers, okay? When the gaming industry looked at the Gamers Union, right? Whatever we wanted to call it. That was just the name I gave it, okay? But it was a number that said purchasing power. Purchasing power, right there. That's fucking purchasing power. And without these people, we're fucked. So if they say they want LAN in the game, you better put LAN in the game or you're fired. See? That's how it was supposed to work. And I tried to make that happen 15 years ago and just was literally fucking abandoned by every gamer on the planet. The ones that weren't attacking me online. Oh, here's this guy. Microsoft paid those people to do that. Of course, that's when YouTube was the Wild West too. So half of them really were fucking Looney Tunes. Told you. It's so fucking sad. It really is. I hate to rub it in, but I am. Wow. Really kind of melancholy when I think about it. Because I know what could have been. You could have independently owned companies creating awesome products for us. But instead, they were bought up by Microsoft to make the field as non-competitive as possible, suck up all the fucking talent, and then tell it what to do. No, this is what we want. We want a dog this time, and he's going to be your best friend, and you're really going to care about that dog. That kind of stupid shit, right? Some executive gets this idea. We know what we want. We want explosions to look real. We want, good hit indication, right? Without hit accuracy, the game is nothing. Nothing. And the highest possible quality graphics. I watched a shoot 'em up here just 20 minutes ago. Old Call of Duty World War II. It was like 5 years ago they did it something. What was the name of that? And it was basically a fight in containers. an enclosed area that was so small, okay, it just sucked. It really did. There was nothing to that. In Call of Duty 3, there were towns, little miniature little villas, okay, that you could run around in. They were big. None of this fighting in a closet shit. Why? Well, it's a lot cheaper to do it that way, I can tell you. A lot cheaper. Okay, one more time. I told you so.